Hello everybody, and welcome to the OneCNC tutorial on basic modelling. As you can see on the screen, I've got myself as it opens up in default, and what I'll do is I'll just go into View, CAD View, then I'll open up my toolbox, lock it in position. I'm going to create myself a rectangle, create 20mm radiuses on the corner, select OK, and pick a position, pick the first position for the rectangle, coordinate 50, 50, select OK, then pick the second position of the rectangle, coordinate -50 and -50. You remember me making this in some earlier videos. What I want to do now is do some basic modelling just to show you different ways we model in OneCNC. So the first thing I'm going to do is just go into a view, default view. Okay, that gives me an isometric view of the job, and these are the modelling menus. You've got create surfaces, create solids, extrude, operations, filleting, surfacing. So what I'll do is I'll just go into extrude, and I want to extrude the curves. Select OK. Then the software says pick a position. Well, that's my boundary. Select my left mouse button, press my right mouse button, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that 50 high. I'm going to put -5 degrees of draft up the sides, select linear and select OK. And there you see on the screen a cube I've created with draft on the sides. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some fillets on the corners. So I'll select that, standard fillet 8, select OK. Now you can see it's trying to pick an edge. If you just leave your mouse on the edges, you can see it highlights some edges. So that's the edge I want the radius on. Select my left mouse button, and you will notice it's now gone all the way around to create a contour or a boundary around there. Press my right mouse button, and there you see the fillet on top. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to put some holes in the top, and as you can see on the bottom, I've got this plane on the bottom. You can see it's got a green side, which is positive, and if I turn it over, you see it's got a red side, which is a negative. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this plane on this top surface on the top. So I'm going to go to plane, create a plane from a surface, select the top surface. Now you see the plane is on the surface. So if I go into a view, now we normally go in the CAD view, top view. What I want to do now is go into a plane view, and you can see it's in a plane view at the moment. So I've got my plane view. So what I'm going to do now is create some arcs on the top of here. So I just go into back home, arc, create an arc. I'll create an 8mm radius, select OK, and I'll just sketch them on the top of the job. So I'll put one here, one there, one here, and one there. And if I press my right mouse button and change the radius, we'll change it to a 4, select OK. We could have put these in at coordinates, but all I'm going to do now is pick the arc center. So if I select the arc center, pick that one, this one, that one, and that one. Press my right mouse button, and you can see I've now created some. What I'm going to do is put some counterpose in there. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go into extrude a cut, select OK, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut that 200mm through the job. I'm going to select that as 0 and linear. As you'll notice, I haven't put a minus figure in. That's because, let's press cancel to that. OneCNC knows by this plane which direction is what. We know the red side is negative, and we know the green side is positive. We also have full control of that plane. We can go into plane, and we can flip the plane. You can see me flip it over, plane, flip. We can also go into customize, and if I go into keyboard and go into planes, and if I select flip plane, you can see I've assigned F12. If I press close, so every time I press F12, you can see I can flip the plane which way it needs to be. So So because the red side is pointing down, OneCNC knows it's got to cut down there. So if we go into extrude a cut, select OK, the value I'm putting there is 200, 0, linear, and then if we go and select the all, left click, you can see it just puts the all and cuts it straight through the job. I've just put a figure of 200 in because it's going beyond where I want it to go to. I want to put some counterbores on the top of there, so I'm going to change that extrude again, and this time extrude cut, and this time we'll only go 10 deep. Select linear, pick that one, pick this one, and that one there, and you can see I put the counterbores in the top. I'll just remove them. I would have to go and select all these individual rings to get rid of it, because that's only geometry I used to create what I wanted to create. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go into select, and I'm going to select by colours, everything that's blue, select OK, and delete it because I don't need it anymore. It was only there for construction. So if I decide to put a chamfer on the top of there, I'll put a 2mm chamfer, select OK, and select the first one, press my right mouse button, you see it's put a chamfer on top. So if we go back to chamfer again, 2, select OK, pick the first one, second one, third one, press my right mouse button, and you can see it's created the chamfers on top. Also what I'm going to do, I want to put a boss on this face, and I want to put the boss extruding parallel from the 5 degrees. So if I just go into plane, select a plane, pick that surface there, and you can see it's created a plane on there. So if I go into view, plane view, you can see I've now got this in a plane view. So what I'm going to do then is go back home, line, rectangle, I'm going to create 6mm radiuses on the corner, select OK, sketch first position, sketch second position. Once again, you could put these on as coordinates if you know the coordinates. And what I wanted to do now is extrude a shape on here. Now if I go into extrude, and I'm going to do this wrong just to prove something further on, so I'm going to go extrude, I'm going to extrude the curves, select OK, left click, right click, give it a distance 50, linear, select OK, and you can see it's created an extrusion on there. But at the same time it's also created 2 individual solids. If I select singly, pick this one and pick that one, you can see the 2 individual solids. So let's just for argument's sake say I'm going to put a fillet between on this corner around this shape. So if I go into fillet, we'll create a standard fillet. I'll put a 4mm fillet, select OK, pick this edge, you can see it's now selected everything, press my right mouse button, and you can see it's filleted this solid, not filleted between that solid and that solid. That's because I created it incorrectly. So if I just undo what I've done and undo again, this time I'll extrude a boss. Now we know the green side's there, so it knows it's a positive. Select OK, we're going 50i, linear, select OK, left click, and you can see it's created that boss on there. Now if I select single, you can see it's one total solid. So if I decide now to put a fillet, 4mm fillet, select OK, pick this edge, right click, you can see it's created that fillet with inside of there. I'll continue with this in the next video as we go along.